Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President Tinubu expands Nigeria for Women program to reach 25 million beneficiaries nationwide. Federal government unveils Hala economic strategy to unlock $12 billion. Plus, Trump acknowledges Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi at U.S. National Prayer Breakfast. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has expanded the Nigeria for Women program to reach 25 million beneficiaries nationwide. This was as he reaffirmed his administration's commitment to women's economic inclusion and national development. Speaking at the presidential launch of the program scalloped at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, the president, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, noted that Nigeria cannot achieve sustainable growth without placing women at the center of national planning. According to him, a nation that relegates its women is a nation bound for implosion, stressing that it is why his administration has not only placed women at the forefront of decision-making, but has also entrusted them with leadership in causes that redeem the national promise. The president designated 2026 as the Year of Social Development and Families in Nigeria, directing coordinated action across all levels of government. The declaration followed a memorandum of understanding signed during his January official visit to Turkey, aimed at strengthening family cohesion and social welfare system. President Tinubu commended the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development for integrating technology into policy implementation and for reorganizing social development into a more coherent system since the launch of the Renewed Hope Social Impact Intervention in Lafia last year, noting that the transformation reflected what purposeful leadership can achieve. Away from that, the federal government has launched Nigeria's National Hala Economic Strategy, a comprehensive framework designed to position the country within the estimated $7.7 trillion global Hala market and unlock up to $12 billion in domestic economic value over the next decade. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, performed the unveiling at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, describing the strategy as a decisive step towards export diversification, foreign direct investment inflows, and large-scale job creation across key sectors of the economy. Shettima said the initiative signaled Nigerians' readiness to compete in a fast-growing global market space increasingly defined by quality standards, traceability, and ethical production systems, rather than narrow religious interpretations. He added that the strategy was projected to contribute an estimated $1.5 billion to the nation's gross domestic product by 2027 if effectively implemented. Elsewhere, the federal government has reiterated its resolve to end the long-standing interference by state government in funds allocated to the 774 local government areas from the Federation account. The pledge was made in Abuja by the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission (RMAFC), Mohammed Shegu, during the 2025 Budget Performance Appraisal and 2026 Budget Defense organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Finance. Shegu lamented the persistent encroachment by state government on local government finances, stressing that the Commission was prepared to take concrete steps to ensure financial autonomy at the grassroots. The RMAFC chairman also commended the House Committee on Finance, chaired by Lagos lawmaker Abiodun Faleke, noting that its guidance has strengthened the Commission's standing among key government institutions. Speaking further on achievements recorded by the Commission with the support of the committee, Shegun disclosed that RMAFC had carried out an audit of oil assets across the Niger Delta region. He also informed lawmakers that work on a new revenue allocation formula for the three tiers of government, as well as for political office holders, was nearing completion. In the meantime, the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development for the Prevention and Control of Transboundary Animal Diseases, has supplied the Ekiti State government with 80,500 doses of livestock vaccines. The vaccines were distributed through the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Program. The vaccines comprise 50,000 doses of contagious bovine pneumonia vaccine, 30,000 doses of Newcastle disease vaccine, and 500 doses of foot and mouth disease vaccine. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Ebenezer Bolowade, while receiving the vaccines in Ado-Ekiti, said the intervention was part of the state government strategy effort to strengthen animal health system and boost livestock productivity. He assured livestock farmers and other stakeholders that the vaccines would be deployed through coordinated vaccination campaigns to ensure wide coverage across livestock clusters and farming communities. On security matters, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ekpetokun, has ordered the immediate deployment of tactical, operational and intelligence assets to Kayama local government area of Kwara State, following a deadly attack that claimed at least 75 lives. The Nigerian police force, in a statement signed by the force public relations officer Benjamin Hundeyin, condemned the violent attack that occurred on Tuesday, describing it as tragic and deeply disturbing. According to the statement, the IGP extended its condolences to the families of the victims as well as to the government and people of Kwara State, assuring Nigerians that the force remains resolute in its duty to protect lives and property. The first urged members of the public to remain calm and cooperate with security agencies by providing credible information through the nearest police stations. Still on security, the Defense Headquarters has insisted that the country's security partnership with the United States primarily focuses on capacity building, professional military education, intelligence sharing, logistic support, and strategic dialogue aimed at addressing shared security concerns, including terrorism. The DHQ made a clarification following the report that U.S. troops had been deployed to Nigeria. In a statement signed by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samalia Uba, the DHQ emphasized that all engagements with the United States are conducted with full respect for Nigeria's sovereignty and existing bilateral frameworks. General Uba reassured Nigerians that the armed forces of Nigeria remain committed to protecting the nation's territorial integrity while collaborating with credible partners in ways that strengthen the country's security. The statement further stressed that Nigeria's defense partnerships are transparent, policy-driven, and aligned with constitutional provisions, ensuring that international cooperation enhances the nation's security architecture without compromising national independence. Let's move now to Africa, where Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea have signed a bilateral treaty for joint extraction of gas from Yoyoyolanda gas reserves in March 2023. The official signing ceremony, which Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Obina presided over, officialized the treaty and represented a concrete step towards extraction. The two countries aim to extract gas and liquefy it at a specialized center in Puta Europa before exporting it. Reports say gas will also be extracted along a second axis to Bipanga in Cameroon. According to reports, while the project is celebrated for the economic sovereignty, it will push for the region an additional job creation opportunity. The environmental impact of offshore gas extraction remains a heavy shadow that could have negative long-term consequences. On the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has used his social media platform to back fellow right-wing leader Viktor Orban before Hungary's upcoming parliamentary elections. Trump's endorsement came in a Truth Social post where he praised Orban as a truly strong and powerful leader. Drawing parallels between himself and Orban, Trump explained that both pursue efforts to stop illegal immigration and ensure law and order. Still on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has publicly acknowledged Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, during the National Prayer Breakfast held in Washington, D.C. The annual event, which traditionally gathers political leaders, clergy, and faith-based figures in the U.S. Capitol, briefly shifted focus when Trump interrupted his speech to recognize Oluremi's presence among the audience. In his remarks, the American president highlighted the Nigerian First Lady's standing and faith, drawing attention to her role as a Christian pastor, and described her as a woman of influence and deep spirituality. Still to come in the news, Atletico Madrid advances to last four of Copa del Rey as Lookman scores on Rojiblanco debut. Stay tuned for details of this. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now let's go over to the concluding part of today's stories. On our business news, the federal government has commenced a comprehensive review of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme, an agri-pocket project after recording 2.5 million metric tons of produce valued at 2.31 trillion naira over 4 farming seasons. Speaking at the workshop on implementation framework of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agri-Pockets Program, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Abdullahi, said the meeting was convened to assess progress and strengthen implementation. Abdullahi noted that the achievement had positively impacted the nation's food supply and pricing, saying that its significant milestone achievement has contributed substantially to increased food availability and stabilization of food prices in the country. He added that the review aligned with President Bola Tinubu's declaration of emergency on food and nutrition security. Still in business, the federal government has unveiled fresh measures to strengthen Nigeria's gas-to-power value chain, describing natural gas as the backbone of electricity supply and a critical enabler of the country's industrialization drive. The government discloses that gas currently fuels more than 70% of Nigerians on grid electricity generation, but admitted that structural weaknesses across supply, infrastructure and commercial arrangements have continued to constrain power delivery to homes and industries. Speaking on the government strategy during a ministerial address at the National Gas Day session of the 9th Nigerian International Energy Summit 2026 in Abuja, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas Ekpo said the administration of President Bola Tinubu was deliberately reinforcing the entire gas-to-power ecosystem to support economic growth, industrial productivity and energy security. Ekpo also announced the expansion of its free liquefied petroleum gas cylinder distribution program to cover all 6 geopolitical zones as part of efforts to deepen clean cooking adoption and reduce deforestation and cut household reliance on firewood and charcoal. In health, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has announced major advances in Nigeria's healthcare system, aimed at expanding access to specialized medical services and reinforcing the country's role in global health governance. The initiative is expected to position Nigeria as a regional hub for advanced diagnostic, oncology and cardiology, while strengthening its leadership in addressing global health challenges such as antimicrobial resistance. In a statement, the ministry said the International Finance Corporation, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, and MidServ have signed a strategic agreement to accelerate the nationwide rollout of affordable diagnostics, oncology and cardiology services. The program will see the expansion of advanced diagnostic centers equipped with modern laboratory and imaging technologies, alongside the development of specialized oncology centers and advanced cardiac care facilities, including catheterization laboratories across multiple locations. Let's move now to sports, where Atletico Madrid advanced to the last 4 of the Copa del Rey with an emphatic 5-0 win at Real Betis as new signing Ademola Lookman scored on his Rojiblanco debut. Diego Simone's side joined holders Barcelona, 2024 winners Athletic Bilbao and Real Sociedad in the semi-finals of the cup competition. A brainstorming first-half performance in Sevilla by Atletico set up the victory as they raced into a 3-0 lead thanks to goals from David Hanko, Gulian Simon and Lookman. The 28-year-old Nigeria joined Atletico on deadline day from Serie A outfit Atlanta on on a reported €40 million deal. Still in sport, Emma Raducanu stormed into the semi-finals of the Transylvania Open with a commanding victory over Poland Maja Chawalinska. The British number one, whose sole title remains her astonishing 2024 US Open triumph, rushed through the first set in 25 minutes without losing a game. Chawalinska, ranked 146 in the world, put up more resistance in the second set, but Raducanu struck the decisive blow at 3-3 before seeing out a 6-0, 6-4 win. It is just the third time that Raducanu has reached the semi-finals of the tournament since winning the New York Major 5 years ago. On entertainment news, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has stirred fresh debate on social media after lending his voice to the long-standing argument that money alone does not guarantee happiness. The Tesla and SpaceX chief executive shared the view in a brief post, stressing that whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. The comment quickly attracted attention, with many readers interpreting it as a rare reflection on the emotional limit of immense wealth. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of your day. I am Emedion James. Bye for now.